Hi, mathematicians. We're back here with some more equation solving. We're going to be building into more than just 1 and 2 steps, though. We're going to be pulling in a lot of the skills we learned with units 1, part 1 and part 2, where we were using order of operations, where we were distributing, where we were combining like terms. So those skills that we learned, we're going to be pulling that back. Just a reminder as we go through this that you are welcome to use a calculator at any time from here on out. If you have questions about how to use certain buttons on your calculator, like how do you raise a number to a root or find a square root or make it negative, make sure you reach out and ask us how to do that, okay? We'll help you out with that. So what we're doing is we're going to get into solving equations. And when you solve equations, especially these multi-step equations that we're going to be talking about, we're going to go from GEMDAS to SAD-MEG. What we absolutely do is we reverse the order. We need to make sure we add or subtract first, we multiply or divide second, we do exponents third, and grouping symbols last. When you evaluate an expression, you use the order of operations. When you solve an equation, you work backwards from the order of operations. So as we practice it, that's what we're going to be working on and focusing on, is using those skills. Now, solving equations is going to continue to be sick. We always simplify first. We always isolate by changing the order of operations and then checking our answer, which is super important to make sure that we're being accurate, especially when you do an assessment. What a great way to know if you have them right or wrong going into it, okay? So we're going to walk through some practice problems and work through them. You can fill these out in your notes as you go along and focus on some things. So solving equations is sick, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to first simplify. And when I look at this one, I have two like terms that I can simplify. 2 minus 9 is negative 7x, plus 17 is the same as negative 4. If you like to draw your line down the center, go for it. Go for it. Whatever helps you out, I want you to do that. And remember, we're solving equations vertically. Very few things I require you do them a certain way. This is one of those. So now everything's simplified. So now I'm going to reverse my order of operations. I'm going to pull this over here. My x is what I want to get alone. So I need to peel everything else away from that x. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the 17. And I undo 17 by subtracting 17 from both sides. We're going to subtract 17 from both sides. These cancel out. So I'm left with negative 7x equals negative 21. Again, if you want to use a calculator, feel free to do that. Now, again, I want to get x by itself. This is what I need to get alone. And so in order to do that, I'm going to divide by negative 7. Both sides divide by negative 7. X equals 3. Now, if I want to go ahead and check it, I can type this into my calculator to see if I get negative 4. Is 2 times 3 minus 9 times 3 plus 17 the same as negative 4? And you can type this in and you should get the same answer. A good way to know if it's right or wrong. Okay? Continuing to look at solving equations is sick. We simplify, we isolate by using inverse of operations, and then we check. When we look at this first one, 5 halves x minus 8 equals negative 3. That's already simplified. There's nothing to combine or distribute on either side. So they're all ready to go. So I'm going to draw my line down the center. A is what I want to get by itself. So I need to keep that structured right there. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this a first. And how I undo minus a is adding a. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. It cancels out. So 5 is equal to 5 halves a. Now, when your coefficient is a fraction, you have a couple different options. And over the years, students choose to use what they want. The option, because we're not all together, and for the sake of the video and just keeping things a little bit simpler for you, the strategy I'm going to focus on is dividing. If there's another strategy you want to use, please use it. No one's saying you can't, okay? So I'm going to divide both sides by 5 halves. And this is where knowing how to use your calculator and put in fractions is helpful. If you don't, you can also do 5 times 2 fifths, because dividing fractions is easy as pie. Flip the second and multiply, right? You learned that in 6th grade. So these cancel out, so a equals 2. And then I can go ahead and check my answer too. 5 halves times 2 minus 8 is negative 3. And when I type that in, that all checks out. Let's look at the next one. Negative 21 equals x plus 3x plus 5. So it looks on the right side like I need to combine like terms. I'm going to combine x and 3x. If there's no number in front of the x, we say it's a 1. So 1x plus 3x is 4x minus 5 is negative 21. I need to get that x by itself. This is what I need to get alone. So how do I do that? I'm going to get rid of the minus 5. And I undo minus 5 by adding 5 to both sides. So negative 16 is 4x. Divide by 4. Negative 4 equals x. And then we can check our answer. I should probably circle these so it's easier to see too. That would help when you do it too. All right, so negative 21 is equal to negative 4 plus 3 times negative 4 minus 5. And you can type that into your calculator and get what you need. Okay, it should all work out. How are you doing? How are you feeling about this? Remember, you can always jump on to Google Meets first or second hour, or I'm like grading this a few weeks before we'll use it. So who knows what will be anytime. Just check in. All right, so we're going to go through 3 more and then we're going to give you some time to work. Okay, so my whole goal is to get the a by itself. So my important number here is that's what I want to get by itself. So what do? Oops. I'm going to add 2 first because everything is simplified. I'm going to add 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So 11 is something divided by 5. Now I'm going to undo that division. I undo division by multiplying both sides by 5. So 55 is equal to A. We want to make sure you're checking your answers. So 9, is that the same as 55 divided by 5 minus 2? Are those the same? I just realized that this one is the same one we already did, so we're going to let it go. My mistake. Over here, looking at this problem, this is something we haven't seen before. We're using that fraction bar as a grouping symbol, like we talked about with the order of operations. So we have the numerator and we have the denominator. Both sides are simplified, so that S part we're good with. So what I'm going to do is start by multiplying both sides by 6. That cancels it out. I'm undoing this division to multiply. Now you might say, but you said we're supposed to add or subtract first. That's right. But the grouping symbol is the last thing we tackle when we're solving equations. That's why I'm not messing with this right now. This is a grouping symbol. So I'm multiplying both sides by 6. So b minus 4 equals 6. undo subtracting by adding 4 to both sides, and b equals 10. I can go ahead and check it in. When you check this one, friends, you're going to go 10 minus 4 divided by 6. We want to know if that's 1. You want to type in, if you're going to use your calculator, I would type in parentheses 10 minus more parentheses divided by 6 and see if it works. If you type in 10 minus 4 divided by 6 without parentheses, it's not going to work. Got to make sure you have that grouping symbol. All right. So you're going to be working on your three worksheet. If you've got questions, message, asking class, whatever you need, let us know. But we're going to be spending a lot of time on solving equations. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I wish you a good day.